In this exercise, we'll be discussing reorientating the initial sketch. Up until now, whenever we created a new sketch, we would just by default select the XZ plane. I know that I've been selecting the XZ plane because if I highlight my sketch so I can see what level I'm on, and then I highlight my planes, it'll give me a nice preview and show me that, hey, I'm on the XZ plane. For whatever reason, if we need to reorientate this to a different plane, it's very easy to do so. If I just right-click on Sketch 1 and say Redefine and choose a different plane, it will automatically reorientate my sketch. Therefore, it will reorientate my part. Now you do have to be careful with this. On a nice simple flat part like this, it's not too big of a deal. But as you get into more and more complex parts, it becomes more and more troublesome to reorientate that initial sketch. So you want to be careful and you want to try to really plan out and think what plane you're working on when you set that initial sketch to start with. Now reorientating the initial sketch is different than reorientating the view cube. You'll notice that my view cube, whenever I reorientate this sketch, doesn't change. And likewise, if I come in here and I select on the right face and I say set current view as front, my sketch is still on that same plane. It doesn't matter what the view cube says, the planes are constant compared to what the view cube represents. That's the reason it says front, top, left, and right instead of using the XY and YZ type planes. As we've been creating new drawings so far, Inventor has been letting us choose which plane to work from. While I prefer to work this way, you don't have to. If you go to Tools, Application Options, and then go to the part environment, you can tell Inventor automatically choose either the XY, YZ, or XZ plane on creating a new sketch. Some people like to automatically have it create the sketch for them. So if I hit OK, I say New, create a standard IPT, create, it automatically takes me directly to the sketch environment. That is a nice feature if you're creating a bunch of parts and you need them all to be on the same plane. You can also reorientate secondary sketches. If I come over here to one of my parts from our padlock, I can look at my secondary sketch. Let's say I decided I needed this to be on the back side instead of the front. Rotate it around, select the back. So now that sketch that was on the front of the part is now on the back of the part. Sometimes you will need to do this whenever you're modeling, depending on what you're doing. So you are able to reorientate that secondary sketches as well. Just remember, when you do reorientate the initial sketch, simple parts, it's not that big a deal, but the more and more complex your parts become, the more complicated that reorientation is. It's going to take longer to calculate and can actually crash your part and destroy your design intent. So be careful when reorientating and make sure that it is an absolute necessity that you do that. You can reorientate the view without actually reorientating the part.